Hey guys, welcome to an all-new review right here on ToyWorldOrder.com, starring me, Devall, and my buddy Dave Draper.
Yay. Yay.
Thank you, that's much better.
No, you're welcome.
I'm so happy that you're here.
Wow. What, you don't love the puppet no more? Whatever.
It's a puppet.
Okay.
Things happen when he's around. You're much more easier to deal with.
That's a phrase I've never ever heard in my entire life.
Gang, we're back with an all-new review. Now, the end of the last review that Dave and I did together, we promised that we'd be taking a look at the new...
Cliffhanger.
Dun dun dun. That we'd be taking a look at the new NECA...
Cherno Alpha.
Yes, the new Pacific Rim Cherno Alpha from the NECA... quarter scale?
Okay. Well, I don't know if there's a name for the thing, but it's the 18-inch Cherno Alpha from Pacific Rim by NECA.
Yes, it's wonderful. Now, the box for this big guy, now we've already taken him out of the box. You'll see him in a second.
Yeah.
But the box for this big beauty is big.
Supermassive Heroes is what they're called. And I think it lives up to the name.
It's a big box.
Well, I mean, you know, just to quickly summarize, Pacific Rim is obviously a movie about kaiju, Godzilla-like giant monsters that are attacking the Earth, and humanity builds giant robots to fight them. So there is this, you know, logical idea that there would be some scale to some of the toys, and the main toy line is actually like this tall, which is okay, but.
Yeah. Yeah. So the front of the box, of course, you got this big giant window box the window here that shows you the figure that's inside.
There's normally a figure inside.
Yes,
it's coming. Don't worry.
Yes, there are LED lights on this big guy, and of course you get
that was fun.
The name of the Jaeger down here, as well as the Pacific Rim logo. What did I say, Jaeger?
Yes. Oh it's German, so you pronounce it like a Y.
I did. Jaeger. It's awful. I'm on a roll.
You are.
The back of the box shows off a better picture of the character, as well as the rest of the line that NECA released for Pacific Rim.
And these are the 6-inch.
The 6-inch scale.
Figures,
so, very big box, very cool, very very.
And one little thing, like quickly before you, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but the backdrop is a little city.
Oh yes.
You can actually see, because it's the same backdrop they use in the picture on the back. So, but there is a little, for the backdrop, there is a little city in the background.
Yes. Very cool. Very, very ginormous figure of Cherno Alpha.
Yes.
And then the actual toy itself
is pretty impressive.
Is this bad boy right here. Cherno Alpha from NECA's Pacific Rim.
Supermassive Heroes.
Yes, and it is very super massive. This thing is expertly detailed. I mean, NECA has never been one to skirt on details. I got that sentence out right that time. They've never been one to really skirt on details. So the details and the paint apps on this thing are phenomenal.
Yeah, I usually don't talk about paint apps, but it's hard not to with this. Like you really appreciate just the subtle washes that give that look of metal. There are areas, we'll probably do a highlight bit where you see like the damage and the scuff marks.
Yes.
Which are, you know, part of the actual paint job.
Yes, very much so.
This is a Jaeger that's seen some action.
Yes. You know, there's little spots of patina on here where, you know, some rust has happened, and there's some silver bits, and it's given a very aged look, which is really, really cool and really well done. It's really, really neat.
And the paint scheme, the design of the actual Jaeger, the paint scheme is based on a Russian T-80 tank.
Yes.
So.
Yes. But of course, this figure it is very actually very posable. It does have quite a bit of articulation. It's got
double ball jointed shoulders.
Yes, which they move up and down and in and out.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So you can move your arms in and out like that.
And we'll talk about those again in a minute in the sort of more critical section.
Yes.
Because I do have an issue with them.
Okay. Yeah. The elbows here, they've got ratchet.
Yeah.
So they can ratchet up into place, which is really nice. We'll ratchet that one up here so you can check out the fists here.
The fingers open.
The fingers open. They open and close, as well as both of them extend.
So it's electronic, some kind of electronic attack.
Yep, so you can actually extend the fists here quite a bit there. You can bloop, bloop. You can actually extend them out on both sides, which is really nice. So that's really well done. The waist here. He moves.
The waist moves a little. I haven't really got him to move very well, so I haven't pushed it.
Yeah, they are out of the box. All the joints are very, very tight.
They're very stiff.
And Dave actually had talked about being a little scared to maneuver this.
So if we're gonna we'll get a close up of this, but when you look at the shoulder, we'll probably have to do it from behind to really see it. You'll see that the main body is a slightly softer plastic.
Yes.
But it's heavy, and then these joints, the barbell joint that forms the shoulder, is a more harder plastic, and over time, it will probably become brittle. And the middle part of the barbell, I can imagine a lot of people are already snapping those off, and if they're not, they will over the time, because this is very reminiscent of Trendmaster's Ultimate Godzilla from the terrible Matthew Broderick movie, which again had this kind of softer skin, but like harder plastic for some of the internal joint mechanisms.
Yeah.
And over time, that harder plastic got brittle and would snap under the weight.
Now
I would be hopefully it won't.
Yeah.
And one of the other things I want to talk about is the way the way the head is set up on the body. When he comes out of the package, these shoulders are actually further down, and you can move them so you push them up so that they come up under the ridge of the shoulder pads. Like originally,
they're down.
Yeah, they're down like that.
Yeah.
So you can see that there's kind of a gap here. So part of why I was working on them so long with a hairdryer was to get it up like that so it looked a little better.
Right. Now, of course, with Dave's concerns there, hopefully, NECA, of course, was, I'm sure, very aware of the problems of such a thing as the Trendmaster Godzilla, and hopefully they took precautions into the design of this so that T-bar will not break.
Hopefully. I've seen another review online where the guy was...
Our friend Artemis Prime.
He was smacking that thing around. I mean, he was just like, whap, whap, whip, whap. And I'm like, no, I don't have the money to replace this thing. So, but he was manhandling that thing, and it was holding up like a champ.
Yeah, it was holding up, which gave Dave kind of a little bit more...
Slightly more... Well, to make sure that I knew where the joints were, and there were a couple other little facets that I learned about the thing from that review.
But what's great, again, the hips here
are ball joints.
So they can move up and down, and they do move. The hip is there is a joint
I think
here.
There's a ball joint on the hip.
There's a ball joint on the hip, but it's Dave has not worked on the hips yet, so they don't.
No, well,
so
I don't want the legs to be too loose.
Yeah, so the legs can bend out, and then you've got the knees are ratchet.
Yeah.
So the knees can ratchet into place there, and then
the ankles are ball jointed.
The ankles are ball jointed there, which is nice. As you can see, it's got some range of movement there on the ankles. So very cool.
And one little last detail is his little butt flaps.
Yes,
his buttock flaps.
His buttock flaps are articulated, which are kind of nice.
Yes,
and I really love the overall look of this figure because
I do too.
I love the fact that you've got like on his right fist is perfect, it's fine, and then on the left fist you've got a lot of battle damage here. Of where the hand has been just kind of opened up.
Yeah, through the ringer.
Yeah, he's really been through hell and back. What's cool about this though is that the head here is on a ball joint too.
Yeah.
So it can move, but it's also designed.
Well, it's not really. I don't know that it's specifically designed to pop off, but it's like it's like Hasbro Transformer toys where it comes off easily, so you can put it back on.
Well, again. It has to be designed to come off because the battery compartment.
Well,
for the head is right
yeah,
there,
you can get that tab off without taking the head off.
Yeah, but it's probably
trust me, you can get that tab off because I didn't know that the head came off at the time.
I gotcha.
And I didn't know that tab was there at the time.
So the head is on a little ball joint there.
That was fun because there were two tabs. There was that one under the head, and then there's one in the back.
Yes.
I saw the one in the back, and it took forever to find out.
Where the one in the head was.
The reason I watched that other review was to find out where the tab was for that.
Right. So now the cool feature of this, the really cool feature, not only is the posability and the just the details, but the fact that
on top of all that other cool stuff.
In fact, on top of all that other cool stuff, it also where's my button at?
One of the two little.
That one, the head
and then
lights
there's
up.
I always push it the wrong way. And then the chest lights up, and then these little areas here, these little flaps open, which I believe is where the missiles come
shoot
from.
out. Yeah.
So
you've got these little.
And the little orange thing in the middle is the cockpit area.
Yes.
Cockpit area.
Yeah.
Where the pilots are.
Yeah. This is just
because he's got a nuclear cooling tower for the head.
Yes, he does have a nuclear cooling tower. Yes, it's this NECA has gone above and beyond with the whole line of Pacific Rim figures, but even more so with these large scale Giggers, these amazing creations that they've put together.
They are very, very cool. I really like them. I got this one. Someone on a G.I. Joe page on Facebook had these with his October Guard. Because I've been buying the smaller Jaegers, or smaller Kaiju.
Right.
Mostly because our Toys R Us just isn't getting them in.
Yes.
I probably would have gotten the big knife head if I could have found him.
Right.
And I probably would have skipped. I haven't bought any of the Jaegers. But I saw someone playing around with this one, and I'm just like, it's amazing. It's so cool. It probably is my favorite Jaeger design from the film. Just because I love that it's so clunky and rough, and the cooling tower for the head.
It's very first generation.
It is. Cherno Alpha is the Generation 1. It's the last Generation 1 Jaeger in service at the time of the film.
And it's a pretty. I think out of the film, that was one of Dave's favorite visuals. Is this Jaeger
thing stomping through the Hong Kong harbor?
Yeah. So there you go, guys. There's some great look at this amazing creation by NECA. Now if you can't find these at your local Toys R Us, which Toys R Us were supposed to be carrying these from what I understand, but pretty much all major
I've never seen the giant ones.
Pretty much all major online retailers, toy-wise, are carrying these.
I got this one from Big Bad Toy Store.
Yep, and retailing for $99.99.
$99.99.
So they are a little bit more in the...
Yeah, but you see these at shows, and they're twice that.
Yeah, they are. A lot of times they're sometimes 3 times that, depending on who's carrying them. But,
yes.
Yeah, these are well worth getting, especially now. This one is, as of this recording, is currently still available at BigBadToyStore.com. So if it interests you, if it's something you really got to have, because it is really cool, make sure you rush out and grab one of these today to add to your collection. Now, even if you don't collect Pacific Rim, it makes a great display piece. Like Dave said, he's going to put it with his October Guard figures. He's probably going to have it standing on the USS flag, which would be kind of neat.
No, it will actually be standing next to the Defiant.
No, there you go. So it makes it, for Dave, it makes a great display piece for his Joes, which he's very good at mixing and matching certain things to make a much cooler scene. But for any fan of Pacific Rim, these are must-haves. These figures are simply spectacular. So make sure you go out and get one of these today. Special thanks to Dave Draper for bringing it by for us to give you guys a look at it. And gang, until next time,
keep playing with your toys.